Hello, welcome to Bentley's Backwoods Bushcraft. This is Richard, and today we are going to set up an interesting little trap here on some an area that has really good squirrel action. It really does. I'm gonna this stick here. Yeah, it may be a decent. It's a little too small, really, for squirrels to climb. Oh, let's pull this out of the way. Let's move that. This is my fire stick. This is the stick that I use when we have campfires and stuff out here. As you can see, it's my pokey stick for the fire. I don't want to lose that, so I'm going to set it right down here. Now, as you can see, there's activity right here for squirrel. This is a good spot to catch them. They'll come down this tree right here and then reach up over there, or they'll climb up it. And there's a stick right here, and what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to lift it up. There we go. I think that'll... I want to turn it this way a little bit. Push it up. There we go. Right there. Alright, so I set it up just like that, so that there's an opportunity for squirrels to come up that and then get up there to their spot. Now, I think I'm gonna set. Okay, so this will give my quarry an opportunity to go up that stick and then up to here, where all the nuts and stuff are always laying. I clean this thing off on occasion, and there's always nuts and stuff when I come back. So I know that they're using this as a food area. So setting this stick up will just help with the motion up like this. So let me get set up, and I'll get right back with you. So first off, let me say this. I just recently found out that you can't use traps to catch squirrels in the state of Indiana. It's illegal. Now, when I do my traps, I usually just set them up for the videos and things of that nature, and then after the video's done, they come down anyway. But I don't want there to be any confusion or assumptions made about anything. So I'm no longer going to trap for squirrels. I have decided, however, there are no rules, laws, regulations, or anything else like that in the state of Indiana or anywhere else that I know of for the trapping of fairies. So I am going to set up a fairy trap. Since the trap that I originally made for squirrels can no longer be used for squirrels, I think I'm just going to incorporate that into trying to trap some fairies. Now, I have some fairy food here. This is some really wonderful, nice fairy food that I've made. And I'm going to be using that. Also, fairies like peanuts. So I'm going to use some peanuts. Of course, I have some cordage. And then I have the rubber bands that'll be needed for the trap, and then the trap itself. So let's get this started and set up, and we'll go through this whole process, and we'll see what it looks like at the end. So first of all, what I have is the box, which you'll set right here. This will be a good place for it. I have 3 rubber bands. I have a trigger, and then I have the actual trap set that has the nails in it. So the first thing I want to do is probably secure this down. So let me do that. I'll get this secured down, and then I'll get right back with you. So there we go. So there's a nice little trail for the Farie to go up, and then it leads straight into this box. It's secured with a little bit of cordage here, and I got a little bit of cordage right here securing it. It's not too bad. And move around a little bit, but I think since Faries are kind of small and they're not super strong anyway, I don't think that's going to cause a problem. So let's set the rest of it up. We have the nice little small trigger stick, and then I have this right here, this stick here that's got little nails stuck in it, because sometimes Faries tend to try to want to escape, and these nails are made of metal, and as we all know, that if metal touches a Farie, and it's immobilized. So the nails are there to keep the Faries immobilized. And we have the 3 decent rubber bands. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this in here and set it up. 3 rubber bands go on this side, around, and strap on just like so. There we go. And then one of them breaks. 2 of them break. Just like so. Unfortunately, woo! Did you see that? 2 of the rubber bands broke, so that's not going to be cool. That's maybe a little too much resistance. Let's just go with 2 rubber bands. Let's see if 2 rubber bands work. There, my trigger stick. That went way over there. All right. So again, let's pull down. Ow. Oh, that's going to be difficult to set. Woo. Well, looks like we're going to have to use a different stick. Let's see here. We'll just pull the stick up off the ground. Let's see here. There we go. That looks like it might work. Let's bend it in just a tad bit. There we go. All right. So there we are. There. Now, all we got to do, since Faries like peanuts, get a few peanuts back there. kind of fill the general area up here. Get a few peanuts around to bring them over, just like so. Maybe we put a few in up here just for GP. Alright, so since I went through all the trouble to make this fairy food, we're going to put a little bit of it around as well. We're going to see if this has any effect. We'll see about that. Take a little bit, piece of fairy food up here. There we go. And here we go. So if you can see, I don't know if you can see that little cut right there. That was from one of those metal nails. Not only does it immobilize and trap fairies, but it also hurts people. So anyway, we have up here, we have a bit of a snack of peanuts and some fairy food. And I'm curious to see if the fairies will eat the food that I prepared for them. And I've scattered around some nuts around the ground to kind of attract. And we've got a little bit of nuts and fairy food here, nuts and fairy food there, and then nuts and fairy food in there with the whole trigger set up. And so what will happen is the fairies will come up this log. They'll come up the log here, they'll come up this log here, and then they'll move up this log here. They'll nibble on the food, then they'll nibble on some of that food, then they'll see all that food in there, and they'll try to enter here, and then this stick right here will pop off, which will cause the metal nailed stick to slash up, which will trap the fairies inside the cage in there. And of course there's plenty of food in them for them to eat, because as we all know, these metal nails, once they start here, they will fly up and land up here, and when they do, it will create a magical barrier that they can't pass once they come back in. So they'll go in, knock this stick down, this metal nails will go up, and once it goes up, it'll create a magical force field right here to stop the fairies from getting out. And of course I put some food back there so that they will have plenty of food until I get here to video them. So there we go. There is my very first magical fairy trap. We'll see how it works. The key here is I hope that all we catch is fairies and we don't accidentally catch something else.